Today we're taking a look at ASX listed stock Hot Chili Limited, ticker HCH, performing some technical analysis on them and making some predictions as to where we can expect to see Hot Chili go in the near future. Let's get into it. How's it going, guys? Ryan here and welcome back to another ASX stock analysis video. Today we are taking a look at Hot Chili Limited. Their ticker on the ASX is HCH and they are a copper explorer and have possibly one of the most exciting upcoming copper projects that is currently listed on the ASX. They're based in, you guessed it, Chile, as you can tell by the name, and they have a project called Costa Fuego. And basically this is a copper project which currently has an indicated resource size of 391 million tons of copper at 0.52%. And with that as well, we have credits of silver and gold. So you've got those real key elements there. And it is one of those really interesting copper projects that is in the perfect location, has the perfect facilities around it, and is set up for success moving forward. So I do really highly recommend you go and check this one out and perform some of your own research. But simply today, all we're doing is taking a look at the chart, performing some technical analysis and making some predictions on where we can expect to see Hot Chili go in the near future. So without any further ado, let's jump straight into today's video. Welcome into the Hot Chili chart, guys. As you can currently see, the value of this stock is sitting at $1.46. Now, they've just recently had a share consolidation, so if you have seen this stock previously, it would have been roughly at about the 3.5 range. So if we're converting that, that is basically a consolidation of, I believe, 50 to 1 at this point in time. So we have basically gotten to the point previously of where we would be sitting at about 3 to 3.5 cents. All in all, things are still looking relatively unknown for this stock. As you can clearly see, we've been moving sideways for the period of, well, it seems about August of 2020, and not too much has happened. But in that time, the company has developed. So obviously, when you see something like this occurring, it is a great springboard for a potential run should the fundamentals come into play. But let's put in place a few key areas that we can, I suppose, determine whether there is a trend ongoing or not at this point in time. First and foremost, I like to put in obviously our horizontal points of support and points of resistance. This was a major one, and I think it's just actually failed today, and it's sitting at $1.50. So that's quite unfortunate. You can see that we have unfortunately closed below that point today, which is not great for the stock. As a result, hopefully tomorrow we might see, a bit of a bounce, a bit of a buy up, people seeing that it is potentially quite cheap at this point in time. But if that's not the case, where are we going to end up? Well, we've got to look for the next point of support. So as we zoom out a bit, you can see, I suppose, it is quite hard to read. So what I'm going to basically do is go to the weekly chart. And the weekly chart will provide us with, I suppose, a bit more of a consolidated view of exactly where we should be looking. So if I go to the weekly chart, what you can see is probably our next touch point would be around about here at $1.36. So what I'm going to do is extend out over here, put that one in place. You can see bouncing has occurred on multiple occasions here. The low on this day, $1.36, and across the board over here. So I think that is our next real major point of support moving into the future. Just trying to line that one up nicely there. There we go. Then we jump back to the daily chart and are able to, I suppose, plot some more actions and trajectories and that sort of thing. Bringing that one in, let's have a look. What else is going on with this stock at this point in time? Well, the pattern that has currently formed, interestingly enough, whilst yes, we are trading sideways, it is almost a bit of a flag pattern. As you can see, we have got the base of the flag down here. We moved up to this point, which was our high, and that is sitting at a value of $2.75. So you can see it's actually dropped quite a bit since that point in time. And then we put in place our flag. Now, where is that flag forming? Well, it's quite hard. As you can see, there has been a bit of price action in this sort of a sense. And as we bring that downwards, it looks like we might just be on the bottom of the flag right now. This could be a very major bounce point for us moving into the near future. You can see we've touched it twice already, and this is the third time right now. So hopefully that means this is a major buying point for traders. Now, of course, we want to see the top end as well. Can we put something similar in place, or is it going to be a bit trickier than that? It's looking like it's actually going to, unfortunately, be a bit trickier. So what I'm going to do is take the top of the flag and start to just work my way around, see if I can try and put in place maybe a top. I'd suggest that's probably a good sort of start right about here, purely because we've got a few key things. We've got a touch point here, a touch point here, and of course a false breakout here. You can see we had a big run, gaps forming and that sort of thing over at this point. I'll just zoom in so you can see that there. And then we fell back in. So I think that is realistically the best point for our flag pattern to form. It is consolidating, but ever so slightly. But of course, we need to make sure we do see that bounce. Now, let's just hit reset on this chart and take a quick look at some of the volume. Move across so we can see a bit more. You can see volume rarely sort of, I suppose, does too much. We do have the odd spike, and typically on those days we do see quite a bit of price action. The previous biggest spike we saw was probably in about August of 2021, and we spiked upwards in price. Then even on that run we saw previously in October, and of course a drop here in December of 2021. Since that point in time, not too much has happened. Let's take a quick look now at a few more indicators, hopefully provide us with a bit more of an insight into what is going on. First and foremost, the RSI, as you can see, it is, I suppose, on the lower end of things. Currently, it is sitting at a value of 35.49. So to me, what this is indicating is there's more obviously buy room, but of course, it could continue downwards. Based on the fact that we are seeing this dip right here, it could indicate that, if buyers were to come in, a bit of momentum was to come in, then yes, we could potentially shoot up in that sort of a direction back towards the top end of our trend line. Now, of course, let's take a look at one more indicator, the MACD, a very important one for us here. And you can see, unfortunately, there was a downwards cross of the 12-day EMA below the 26-day EMA. It looked like we were about to cross back up again, but it was not to be. Ideally, if we are going to see a reverse, you want to watch for that cross to occur. They're not moving towards each other at this point in time, so that is not really going to be an influential factor, in my opinion, at the moment. All in all, we really need to see a bounce and some big volume coming in to make sure we do stay between, I suppose, this downwards channel that has formed from this sort of flag pattern that we see. Let's take that out and let's see. What would I do in this situation? Well, I'd be watching and waiting. Ideally, hopefully we see a bounce off this point sitting down here at $1.40 roughly, the bottom of our downtrending line, and we see a bounce and this sort of an action occur. If that does not occur though, we are likely to drop down to this $1.36 mark. So just keep an eye out and see what happens when we do open up for trading tomorrow. Do we maintain this line, or do we break through it and start going in a downwards direction? It's also interesting to note that, as you can see, our 20-day moving average has gone below not only our 50-day, but has also gone below our 200-day, along with, of course, our 50-day going below the 200-day. Two real negative sort of, I suppose, patterns that have formed themselves there. Not good. And obviously, as a result, the share price has taken a hit due to that. So all in all, I'd say for this one, keep your eye on it and watch out for what happens, because if we do see a bounce, then potentially there could be a nice trade upwards towards this top line. That wraps up today's analysis of Hot Chili, guys. I hope you did enjoy today's analysis. Make sure you let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below. Of course, if you did enjoy today's analysis as well, do leave a thumbs up and subscribe and turn on those bell notifications if you want to see more of this sort of content. I'll leave it there for today, guys. I hope you have an awesome day. I'll see you next time. Cheers.